Welcome back to the channel, guys. A bit of breaking news with regard to the reaction with regard to the announcement that, of course, the new digital ID system is going to be coming in to the UK after the announcement, the breaking news over the last sort of couple of hours. Keir Starmer is expected to announce this formally tomorrow. And really, to be honest with you, it looks extremely scary of what's going to be happening within this country, the control that the government, or the further control that the government are going to have on its citizens. However, Britons are fighting back, and an official online petition has skyrocketed since that announcement. We have also seen unanimously across all parties, Jeremy Corbyn to Nigel Farage, everybody that's not a part of the Labour government is, of course, not wanting this. They've came out publicly on social media and stated that they do not want to see a digital ID system being brought into the UK. However, it is frightening, and it's being brought in under the guise, of course, of stopping illegal immigration and stopping the boats. Absolute horseshit. Donald Trump, literally just within a few months, without any digital ID, managed to stop illegal immigration into the United States. So that's absolute horseshit, and it's completely just a guise for more control from this Labour government. I mean, what could come from this is a little bit different to what Tony Blair tried to introduce all those years ago. In fact, it looks as though it's more like a hub, essentially, where people can be monitored, everyday citizens can be monitored, and there's almost going to be a social credit system. So if you go for a job, people can see your whole history. If you go to try and get a house, people can see your whole history. And essentially at the bottom of society, or, everyday working class people, this is a really, really scary feat, and it's going to be made mandatory within the United Kingdom, and the announcement's going to be coming tomorrow. However, there is, of course, a lot being done with regard to online petitions, but let's just hear this breaking news announcement with Sky. We're going to go over to the petition in a moment, and whilst I'm showing this video, I have pinned the petition in the live chat and also in the description if you're watching on a replay. We're also going to be getting over to X and seeing some of this reaction. As stated, Jeremy Corbyn, Nigel Farage, Liberal Democrats, everyone is repealing this and do not want to see it happening. And more to the fact, where was this vote, Keir Starmer? Where was this vote for people wanting this to be brought in? It's absolute bullshit. It's absolutely totalitarian, and a very, very scary time that we're living in. But have a watch of this quickly.
Breaking news now. Digital ID will be made law for all adults in an effort to tackle small boats. Downing Street believes that a mandatory ID card system will help stop illegal immigrants working. Let's bring in our political correspondent, Mari Aurora. Mari, what more do we know about this?
Yeah, well, Gareth, this is interesting because this is something that has been spoken about a lot. Tony Blair, for instance, has been talking about this for years and years as what he always believed was one of the best ways to try and reduce illegal immigration and the ability for people to work illegally here in the UK. But Sky News understands that we will have an announcement, could be as soon as tomorrow, from the Prime Minister on these mandatory ID cards, an ID card system, the Brit card. And essentially what this will mean, it will be mandatory for all adults here in the UK. It will make it easier for employers and for landlords to make sure that those they are employing or renting or to actually have the right legal immigration status here in the UK. They can do it using a smartphone app. It's also, according to the government, going to make it easier for people here in the UK to essentially prove their status or their ability to kind of qualify to be able to work here in the UK. And essentially, this is all about immigration. This is all about trying to tackle small boats crossings. We've had a lot of conversation about small boats and about other European countries, especially the French, who have been concerned with the kind of pull factors here in the UK in terms of being able to work in the black market, being able to work illegally here in the UK. We already know that France has an ID card system. They've had it for many, many years. And it's something something that the UK has always resisted, partly because of questions around civil liberties and freedoms, but also because many governments in previous times said they didn't think it was the best approach. Now, clearly, Keir Starmer has been persuaded of the benefits of a digital ID card system and has been persuaded that this might have a significant impact on small boats crossings. The question really, and this is always going to be the million-dollar question, is once this comes into play and once it is enforced, how much of an impact could it have on small boats crossings?
Okay, well, as you can see there, it's pretty scary. Let's get over to some of the reaction. Let's get over to the petition. You're going to be seeing this in real time, by the way. It's blowing up as we currently do speak, and it's going pretty wild. So let's jump over there quickly now. As you can see, I started this at 160,000 signatures. By the way, I have signed it, of course, but on my phone. I just brought it up just for this on the desktop, just simply for the live stream purposes. But of course, I have already signed it. But as you can see, it's going really, really quickly. And we're going to come back to it in a moment. But as you can see, 177,000 have already signed this. Look at the numbers. It's going up very, 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 very quickly. So we're seeing it, completely skyrocket. But let's go over to X and see some of the reaction. Guys, if you are just tuning in, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Let's try and get this to 1,000 likes before the end of the live stream. So digital IDs, as you can see, trending, of course, on X, and as you can see already here, Rupert Lowe say no to digital IDs, and you're going to see across the board. I mean, that was out an hour ago. GB Politics put the petition, over 130,000 people have signed a petition opposing digital ID cards literally 1 hour ago, and it had 132,000 signatures at that time. So an hour later, look, we're sitting at what, 170. I mean, that's going so quickly. Remember, 177, 811, and we'll come back to it in a moment. Turning Point UK, digital IDs will be used to catch illegal migrants. They will be used to continue the persecution of patriots. If they wanted to catch illegal migrants, then they would start doing ID checks in London, Birmingham and Bradford, but they won't. Police will, however, use digital IDs to build a database of people who attend right of centre protests to enable further intimidation and bullying of attendees to discourage dissenting thought. How long before you need digital IDs to purchase groceries and other essentials? This is the scary thing. If you look at what's happening in China, and whilst that won't happen imminently, that's the way that they're going to go. It's going to be a hub. It's going to be all about control. And this is what we've seen previous Labour governments try to do. It was opposed by the Tories the last time they tried to do it. It's been opposed before, and we're going to have to try our best to oppose it again here. But Keir Starmer, by the way, looking like he's going to be coming out and saying things. Let's see what Nigel Farage has said with regard to this.
So the Prime Minister says we must have digital ID. That's the way we'll stop illegal immigration. Well, think about it. Germany has ID cards, strict ID and checks. It's made no difference at all in Germany, and nor will it here. All that digital ID will be is a means of controlling the population, of telling us what we can and can't do, of fining the innocent. And didn't we see it all when we had the pandemic, when you had to have vaccine ID to travel, to do various things? Did that stop the COVID pandemic spreading? Did it? Hell, all it did was put cost and inconvenience on everybody else. I also worry about massive data banks being held by the government, being hacked by foreign governments, by private companies, by criminals. I do not see a single benefit to the government having digital ID other than them controlling what we do, what we spend, and where we go. And we, in Reform, are wholly opposed to it in every single way.
Facts. There you go. I mean, Nigel Farage, by the way, isn't the only
person Prime Minister says
who is, of course, against this at this moment in time. Say no to digital ID. It's huge government overreach, infringement of privacy, personal data, civil liberties and freedoms. No one ever voted for this. As you can see, we didn't vote for this. What could digital ID mean for you? As you can see, data breaches, as Nigel Farage said, identity theft, fraud, government overreach, political restriction, privacy violation, freedom loss, resource diversion, trust erosion, social inequality, corporate power, surveillance state, human rights abuse, social credit system, that is the scariest part as well, totalitarian state, and a cashless society. Absolutely disgusting. Here's more on Farage. I'm firmly opposed to Keir Starmer's digital ID cards. It will make no difference to illegal immigration, but it will be used to control and penalise the rest of us. The state should never have this much power. And that is the key there, by the way. The state should never have this much power. I don't know where they're going. I can't believe they're even starting to put it under the guise of stopping illegal immigration. Absolutely shambolic. Lee Anderson says, digital IDs, I'm against this. Please share if you are. Here we go, as Tommy Robinson has put out a post saying, so the real reason Labour staff are jumping ship because becomes clear as Starmer just announced he requires all UK adults to own government-issued digital ID. Tony Blair started the idea and destruction of Britain, and Starmer wants to put the final nails in the coffin. We say no. Here you go. So as I said, it's not just the right thing, guys. I've probably got someone who's probably the furthest left. And here's Jeremy Corbyn. He's actually come up on my frigging Explore page. I firmly oppose the government's plans for compulsory digital ID cards. This is an affront to our civil liberties and will make the lives of minorities even more difficult and dangerous. It's excessive state interference and must be resisted. I mean, I don't resist it on the same reason as to why Jeremy Corbyn, but at least we're kind of all on the same page a little bit. But yeah, it is an affront to our civil liberties, mainly so. 100% I can agree with that. Liberal Democrats, here we go again. Liberal Democrats as well, of course, are saying cannot support mandatory digital IDs. People shouldn't be criminalised just because they don't want to hand over their private data. Liberal Democrats cannot support a mandatory digital ID where people are forced to turn over their private data just as they go about their daily lives. People shouldn't be turned into criminals but just because they can't have a digital ID or choose not to. This will be especially worrying to millions of older people, people living in poverty, and disabled people who are more likely to be digitally excluded. So you can see everyone's unanimous across the board right now with regard to all the political parties. The Liberal Democrats, again, refuting this as well. But I love how he's put it under the guise of stopping the boats, and illegal immigration is bullshit. Just ask Donald Trump. You've had enough visits with him over the last couple of days. If he can sort it out in the United States of America in the space of a couple of months, then we can protect a small island that, of course, has a moat around it. It's not rocket science, and digital ID is not going to do anything. Just stop the boats. There's a way to do it. Or at least if you're going to be bringing it in, don't try and put it under the guise of stopping boats and stopping illegal immigration. It's horseshit. Absolute horseshit. It makes me angry. Liz Truss says, knowing what I know about the government, it is highly unlikely that this terrible authoritarian scheme will be implemented by 2029. By then, Starmer will have been kicked out of office and it can be junked. Well, I hope that is the case. What were we on? 177 a minute ago? Bang, you're seeing it pop. Look at that. In the space of me just rambling on and reading some reaction there over the last, 2 minutes, 6,500 people have already signed the petition. Guys, if you are just tuning in, there is a signature, or you can sign the petition. It's in the live chat, pinned at the top of the chat, or if you're watching this on a replay, it's in the description, so you can go straight to there as well. We'll come back there again. That's jumped by literally 7,000 in the space of a few minutes. Julia says, I have a driving license to prove that I have passed a test to drive. I have a passport to prove my identity and nationality when I travel abroad. I don't need to prove who I am to anyone in my own country unless I choose to. I refuse to have compulsory digital ID cards. It's mental. It really is. Digital ID will control your food, control your electricity, control your gas, control your fuel, control your access to medical, control your access to money. Then the government and their masters will control you all. Don't sleepwalk into it. Fight it with your life. It's the only battle that you need to do. Facts. Guys, this is something that's big. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in petitions as much these days just because we've seen so many of them go so far and just be swiped out. But the fact there's not even been a vote on this, and as you can see, all the political parties are literally refuting it and repealing this, suggests that they are just trying to push this through, which is bonkers. I don't even know how they're allowed to do this. Now, there you go, there's Rupert Lowe. When's the digital ID vote in Parliament, Keir Starmer? Exactly. Where is it? Where is it? This isn't a democracy. Ant Middleton says, with a government so corrupt, digital IDs will only enhance, supercharge our problems even further. They will be bought, paid for, manipulated, used to scam, used fraudulently, identity theft, assessed and financial theft, new identity for illegals and migrants. The list goes on. Do not fall for this nor accept or abide by it. Not at least until a non-corrupt government gets into power, cleans up our country, closes our borders and gets rid of the millions of people that don't belong here. Remember, the elite's mission objective is population control. Cast your minds back to the not so distant past. Facts. Facts. Ant Middleton. Facts. Together. We've got passports, we've got national insurance numbers, we've got driver's license, we don't need compulsory digital ID cards. We managed to defend our borders for hundreds of years without digital ID. Digital ID won't control immigration, it will control you. That's it. Oh my God. Andrew Tate wading in. So England just announced you need a digital ID on your phone, and if you use that phone to say anything hateful in a private chat, you are sentenced to years in jail. These IDs are important to stop the migrants who the Home Office are paying to come from coming. Create the problem, fix the problem. Fuck the law-abiding people over while the criminals continue exactly as they did before. The good people, the taxpayers, the natives, the good-hearted Brit gets endlessly fucked to pay for their own replacement. They're not even allowed to complain about it. Chat, that's a fact as well. There you go. Before the last general election, Labour promised not to introduce digital ID. What changed, Keir Starmer? Was it this another hidden plan you lied to the public about? Labour rejects Tony Blair's call for ID cards. Again, another one. So another lie from Keir Starmer. Somebody's obviously been in his ear and persuaded him. But we're seeing the rats, of course, jump out the boat, leaving the boat. We've seen one of his aides just resign over the last couple of hours as well. It's all falling apart, all whilst Andy Burnham is trying to vie and push for his position. What is he trying to do, man? What is he trying to do? Rob Moore, digital ID warning. The government has announced everyone will be required one of their phones and it is for convenience. Truth is they mean surveillance. No privacy, your data sold, access to your private phone calls, arrested if you speak out of turn, personal banking and healthcare restricted, no opt-out, total financial control, and at the end, of freedom. Is that really the society you want? Guys, if there's something you want to do, just jump over here now and get this signed. It's going up it is skyrocketing. It's skyrocketing. And for those of you just tuning, I have already signed the petition on my phone. I'm just brought this link up on my laptop for this reason. I have already signed the petition for those of you already wondering why. Illegal immigrants aren't rocking up and then applying for jobs at HSBC. They work cash in hand off the books completely outside the system. So who will a digital ID really control? Not the illegal immigrants. Exactly. Like they're making out as if they're just going to get a job. Like every British person is. They're doing things under the table, illegal immigration. And to be fair, I need to stop getting stressed about and talking about it being there to stop illegals. We know it's not. We know it's there for control of its citizens. Mental. Darren, Donald Trump reduced the legal crossings into the US by over 95%, all without a digital ID. Why can't Starmer? Facts. Exactly. We will tread more lightly on your lives in the 5th of January 2024 when he became Prime Minister, and yet he will announce a universal digital ID tomorrow. Shameful.
And they're like, it's going to be good migration, it's going to be helpful, convenient, it's going to be convenient and safe. Then there'll be some sort of crisis like a pandemic or a war or whatever. They go, right, unless you've got the digital ID card, you can't access these resources or attend these facilities or whatever it'll be. And then it will never go back to normal. Same as it never quite went back to normal after 9/11, never quite went back to normal after COVID, never quite went back to normal after 2008. They slowly escalate the tensions, legitimize the authority until you don't notice that you're not free anymore. You're not free. You're not able to be who you really are. Indeed, one might even argue that identity politics is an extraordinary pageant around freedom. I want to be something different. This isn't who I am. You better believe it ain't who you are. You were made to love God, and you're being used to serve Satan. Right, imagine.
Facts. Oi, like that's the thing, because it is a step by step. It's being brought in where the reason why they put it under this guise of stopping illegal immigration, they say, well, it's going to stop illegal immigration. You know, this is the thing. It's going to stop this. But over time, more things, and then we'll go to a social credit system like there is in China. Final stage, man. Mental. Absolutely mental. Guys, I'm going to get some live chat reaction from you guys in a moment quickly, so do get your thoughts on this down there in the comments. But we started this live stream, what did we say, 177? We went on a bit of an X reaction, and it's at 190,000. So since I've been just going through X over the last sort of 10 minutes, it has been, it's gone from 177 to 191,000 signatures whilst we have been up. It is absolutely skyrocketing, and the British people are having their say and do not want these digital IDs. Let's see what the people are saying, guys. Let's see what the live chat's saying. I hope you are all well. I mean, I can't imagine you are after hearing this news, of course. But let's go through the old live chat, shall we, and see what's being said from everybody. We've got a few members in the chat. Big shout out to Paul Briggs, becomes a member. Big guy, man. Thank you so much for being a member. Help support the channel. It really does. Thank you. Big shout out to Global as well. Big shout out, a new member as well. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We've also got a super chat here as well from John Platt saying, does anyone with a brain think that illegals will have digital ID? Will they heck ditch their IDs in the channel before arriving and are rubber stamped? Exactly. Look, listen, at the end of the day, that is the truth. The whole thing about stopping illegals through digital ID is absolutely a non-starter. It's completely nonsensical because, as you say, they come in with nothing. They throw their IDs, they get rid of their information. And as some user said there on X, they don't come in and apply for a job at HSBC, do they? They're not working at your local New Look where you get vetted and checked. They're doing cash in hand jobs. That's what they're doing. You know, and also within the United Kingdom, we can confirm our identity if we want. If the police wants to come to me and say, well, look, have you got your passport? Have you got your driver's license to confirm that you're a British citizen? Yeah, I've got it. There you go. But you don't need control of all my whole life or all of our lives through your digital ID system. You know, don't reinvent the wheel, so to speak. But we know they're not trying to do it. You're going to get yourself frustrated looking at it and going, well, they can stop illegal immigration in other ways. Of course they can stop illegal immigration in other ways. But this isn't the remit of the digital IDs. It's been brought in as a guise. They're bringing it in as a guise to try and say, well, yeah, this is why we're doing it. And then step by step, they turn up the heat on the control. They tighten it. And they keep on going just like that. And that's the way that this Labour government is going to roll going forward. So yeah, I mean, nobody believes the guise as it is in the first place, but don't think it has anything to do with illegal immigration, because it absolutely doesn't. Thank you, John, for your donation. What a guy, man. Thank you for your generosity as well. What a legend. Let's get into some more chats here as well, troops. People talking about Andy Burnham as well. Andy Burnham is a Starmer clone. I mean, Andy Burnham has a few rings to jump through before he can sort of run to be a prime minister. He needs to, of course, step down as being a mayor. Then he has to win a seat in a by-election, which is never guaranteed, especially with Reform surge up in the north. And then, of course, then he has to vie himself in. So we have to get a lot of internal votes, but then, of course, win a by-election as well, which I can't see happening in the north. There's no sort of stronghold for Labour, so to speak, anymore, especially with Reform on the surge. But my goodness me. It doesn't make a difference because this new digital ID system, right, is going to be brought in, it's going to be implemented. But as soon as Labour are voted out, as you can see there, the Liberal Democrats have voted against it. The Tories are opposed to it. Reform are opposed to it. Heck, Jeremy Corbyn's your party is opposed to it. So all of these parties are opposed to it. There's not a chance in hell that Labour are getting back into power. So it's just going to be gone anyway. It's just going to be burnt up and taken away. It's not going to be there anymore. Starmer is a genius at reading the room. Well, if he wanted to try and get his, if he felt that he wanted to try and get his approval rating up, he's going the wrong way about it, because he's irked everyone. Because everybody's got their own reasons and individual reasons as to why they don't want digital ID, as we can see with Jeremy Corbyn's post. But everybody's unanimous. Whether you're on the left, you're on the right, whether you're on the centre, nobody wants the digital IDs. So I don't know who he's trying to win over here, especially when he's sinking. He's literally falling apart. Labour are falling apart as we speak. Who's advising him to come up with this? It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Big shout out to Vaguava again for becoming a British Patriot, becoming a member. Big shout out to all my members, by the way. I really do appreciate you. You guys really do help support, and big shout out to you all. I'll always try and read out a members chat straight away if it pops up. So if you've got a little logo next to your name, I'll always try and get to you as first. John Smith says Blair is controlling Starmer. Facts. I mean, this is Blair's sort of love child for a very long time. He tried bringing it in years ago, didn't he? He tried bringing it in years ago, under a different format, essentially, as well, under a different sort of guise, so to speak. But it was refuted at the time. It was repealed at the time. And never came there. But of course, Labour said in the summer that they were never going to be. They were rejecting digital IDs. But someone's been in his ear and said that they want to bring it in. So it makes no sense. As people are saying, Tony Blair. I mean, this guy, we got rid of him years ago. He's still controlling and pulling strings around there somewhere. Tony Blair. Yeah, guys, John here says, don't forget the petition chat. Yeah, guys, if you are just tuning in, I appreciate not everyone's going to be staying for the whole thing. The petition is currently in the pinned comment in the live chat, and also in the description if you've made it this far on the replay. So yeah, click the link, sign up. It takes a few seconds, literally. It takes a few seconds, and we need to all band together and really repeal this. We can't be letting this happen within our country. We can't. This is the most diabolical decision, and you think it's bad now in the UK. Wait to see how bad it gets if this comes to fruition. Well, it looks like it's going to come to fruition, but I'm interested to see what happens tomorrow. I'm interested to see how he, of course, skirts around the questions and the answers, Keir Starmer, when he officially announces it tomorrow. But yeah, I don't understand how there was no vote passed through Parliament with regards to this. How does he even just get away with this? Bonkers. It's banned. Deadeye says cashless society will follow after digital IDs, control the tax of the third-party transactions, and have a database available for all transactions. Cybercriminal will have a field day. Mate, it's going to be... you don't even... Well, we as humans, as British citizens, can't even comprehend how bad this could get. You're talking about Chinese social credit systems. That's a dangerous world where we're going to get to. Wild. It really is. But not even just that. Just everything. Them being able to completely control you in everything that you do. You won't be allowed to get into places if you don't have a digital ID. Well, it's going to be made mandatory. You're going to be a criminal, essentially, if you don't have a digital ID. And actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Liberal Democrats actually made a good point. What about the elders that don't even tech savvy? You can't just force them to take a phone and say, oh, here you go, here's your digital ID. Can you? As Claire says, they will know everything. They'll know absolutely everything. I'm going to take a little bit more reaction, of course, from X quickly, and I'm going to check on to see where the petition's at. I think we're probably going to be closing in. If I have to say, take a guess, we're probably going to be closing in on 200,000, by the way. Probably. That's going to be the case. 2 secs. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Look, it's just shooting up. shooting up at every single moment. Yeah, close, very, very close to 200,000 already. Let's see if there's any more reaction. You can see how quick it is because people are posting this screenshot literally 2 hours ago. There you go, there's more.
State where we all carry ID cards, and as you say, everything we do can be tracked and logged by the state and controlled, and we need a digital pass to go about our daily lives. This idea is reinvented every few years, and of course Starmer has been very Blairite in his premiership, and now with no mandate whatsoever, nobody voted for this. This was not in the manifesto. He is proposing to introduce it to stop small boats, which, as you said, is absolutely ludicrous. I don't think there's, it's basically an IQ test, the idea that a digital ID will stop rubber dinghies coming across the channel. But what this will do is create the infrastructure of a massive surveillance state that will inevitably sprawl into many areas of life. You'd have to be very naive to think that this will stop with citizenship. It will sprawl into benefits, health. Unfortunately, Blair's vision...
Facts.
Raise the public to control our borders?
No, absolutely not. So the question I ask myself is twofold. Number one, why should I have to change the way I live every single day of the week to be stopped by police, which we know have been subject to massive overreach in terms of taking civil liberties away from people, both during COVID, but actually much more recently with arresting people for saying hurty things on the internet, stopped by the police and in a sort of, Germany circa 1940 told to show my papers on the streets. Why should I be forced to do that? Because this government has failed to grip the issues of borders. This is fundamentally changing the way we live our life in Britain. And the real disgrace is to call it a Brit card when it's destroying so much of what matters to us here in the country. That's the first issue. The second issue is I fundamentally do not trust this government with my data. Now, people will say, of course, well, you give information to Facebook, you give information to other online. Yeah, they don't let anyone steal it because if they don't hold it, they don't have a business. The government is terrible at keeping our data safe. I don't trust them with my data. It will lead to wholesale problems in terms of your own data security. This is wrong for Britain. It's the wrong time. It's the wrong policy. And I'm sorry, if Starmer thinks this may be part of a new Keir Starmer reset for the Labour Party conference, he is proving himself once again tin-eared and not on the side of ordinary working people in this country.
Dominic Moffat, you're rolling your eyes at quite a lot of that there. Tell us why you think this is a good idea.
Well, I'm interested to hear GB News describing illegal migration as a nut. I think that the attention is given
don't get bogged down in semantics. Get to the issue.
The point I'm making
why
is that this is clearly a very
everybody in Britain
significant
have
issue.
to pay the price because the government control our blooming borders? That's the point.
We've talked about this government not controlling the borders. What about the 10 years before when there was a different government which had not just illegal immigration, but fully legal migration, which allowed millions of people into the UK. 500,000 people a year were legally allowed into the UK by the last government.
Keir Starmer was elected saying he'd smash the guns. What's happened to the numbers? They've gone up.
He's taking the action required to smash the guns.
1,000 people came into the country in one day this week.
Keir Starmer
the Brit card, so-called, is not going to fix that.
Required to smash
well, it's not working.
Well, they haven't done it yet. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Well,
this is what they're doing.
They've had 14 months.
That's what these ID cards are for. It's to smash those criminal gangs that you're talking about.
Do you think criminals will carry
The
this?
one interesting thing you did say, Jake, is you talked about Labour Party conference, and it will be interesting to see how this policy goes down at Labour Party conference. This is not red meat for the Labour Party membership.
So why do it?
Keir Starmer's popularity at the moment suggests to me
if it's not even popular,
he wants to stop the boat.
I'm interested to see what actually Labour do say in terms of the other Labour MPs. We're seeing mass resignations. Maybe people have seen this happening before and don't want to be a part of it. Shit bust. Zia Yusuf there, no digital ID. So, yeah.
That he's going to implement digital ID for...
There's more.
70 years we had them briefly during wartime Britain, but in the end it was decided they weren't doing any good at all and we got rid of them, but they're to come back, but now in a digital form. And of course the high priest for all of this for the last quarter of a century has been Tony Blair. Here he was just recently reiterating the call.
The benefits are clear. Digital ID will make our interactions with each other and with the state faster, cheaper, and more reliable. It will allow us to judge who has a right to be in our country and who doesn't, and so solves one of the major challenges of immigration.
The benefits are clear. The state can control every single aspect of your life. They can know where you are at any given moment in time. They can see what money goes in and out of your accounts. They can decide, no. You can't go to Marbella. You've used up your carbon credit for the year. Now, you might say I'm exaggerating, but these are the endless possibilities that could happen with digital ID. And frankly, for me, I saw enough during the pandemic with vaccine passports. It created a two-tier society of those who could go to places, those who could travel, all based on the fact that unless you were vaxxed, you see, unless you were vaxxed, you were a danger because you might pass the virus on to somebody else. Then we learned that simply wasn't true, and yet our freedoms have been taken away for that period of time in a way that had never happened before. I am personally vehemently opposed to this in every single way, let alone the abuse that could happen if any of these sites are hacked and your data is taken. So I am deadly against. We will have a proper debate with our channel on this subject. But hey, we're told it'll stop illegal immigration.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not going to get carried away with that because I know it's not going to stop illegal immigration. Let's have a little look, see where we're at. 206, by the way. 206. 206,000. Mental. It's crazy. As you can see how quickly it's all skyrocketed. Very, very, very quickly. I won't be having one. I can promise you that, troops. I can promise you that. I will not have a digital ID card. Promise you. I'll leave before that happens, mate. Kemi Badenoch, here we go. This announcement is a desperate gimmick that will do nothing to stop the boats. There are arguments for and against digital ID, but mandating it is used to be a very serious step that requires a proper national debate. Instead of that, this is a throwaway conference announcement designed to distract attention from Andy Burnham's leadership manoeuvrings and the crisis in Downing Street over the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff in crisis. Where are we? Chief of Staff. The government has struggled to enforce its feeble one-in, one-out deal with France, which has turned into 100 in, one-out national embarrassment. Can we really trust it to implement an expensive national program that will impact all our lives and put additional burdens on law-abiding people? I doubt it. Only the Conservatives have a plan to end abuse, enforce the law, and put Britain's interests first by disapplying the Human Rights Act and deporting anyone who arrives in our country illegally. I mean, that's what Kemi said. I mean, a rather a Tory government than a Labour government. All day long. All day long. All day long. And I know there's going to be a lot of anti-Tories people in here, but fuck them. Yeah, I'd rather a Tory government than a Labour government all day long. Every day of the week. Every day of the week. Here he is, the big man. Facts. Now, either way, let's see where we're at. I'm not going to stay up all like 208,000. We started this stream at, I think, 177,000 or something like that. So it's gone pretty wild over the last sort of hour or so, since half an hour or so since I've been live. I'll take a few more comments, guys. If you haven't already, please, there's about 2.8k people watching. If you haven't already, guys, please do hit the like button as well and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really, really does help out. But yeah, subscribing, hitting the like button really, really does help out. I'll get into the live chat, take some more answers from people, and then be on me way. I've got another member here. Big shout out to Matthew. Becomes a member. Big shout out to you. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Matthew says, yeah, I hate all the parties, but I have to agree the other twats were far better than Labour. Facts. Control. That's all it is. Yeah, Thank you. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. But most importantly, more importantly than hitting the like and the subscribe button, way more importantly, finish this stream by getting into that link if you haven't already. If I can try and push 2.6k people over there now to sign it, it takes seconds. Don't even just be like, I can't be arsed doing it. Sign it now. It takes a second or two. Just click the link. It's in the description. It's completely free. I don't even think you have to sign much up to it. Just sign the petition and let's try and do a little bit. I mean, this is not going to be the end of it in terms of the petition and the pushback. Since COVID, we've seen the sort of Overton window change. We don't see people, of course, trusting the government anymore. And if the petition doesn't work, trust me, this is going to go even crazier over the next few months. I'm telling you now, this ain't going to be implemented mandatory across the UK because the people aren't going to have it. Yes, the people had their eyes closed. They were asleep during COVID and were pushed around and whatnot. Trusted the government maybe a little bit too much. But 5 years later, nobody trusts the government, and certainly nobody trusts the Labour government whatsoever. So this ain't going to be happening, and no one ain't going to be complying here. Guys, take care, look after yourselves.